Hey guys, Pro1701 here, and today we're going to talk about our top 3 favorite episodes from Season 4 of Classic Doctor Who. This is an interesting one because we actually have 2 Doctors in this season. This is one of those rare occasions where, a season is made up of one Doctor at the beginning and a different Doctor at the end. Matter of fact, the entire cast changes over the course of the season. I think the only other time this happens is in season 21, actually. Season 21, with the 5th and 6th Doctor and the cast changing over. My top 3 are going to be the Moonbase, which I really like. One of my favorite Cyberman stories, if not my favorite Cyberman story. I like the story. I think it's a better version of the 10th Planet. I like the animation in the 2 animated episodes. It's my favorite of all the animations we've ever gotten. It just seems much more detailed. I love how well defined the characters are, how well defined their faces look, how well defined their facial movements are, and how well defined their actual body movement is. They have a flow to them that I really like when they turn. They just have so much more detail than the current animations have. Like, they were really trying to make things look very lifelike, as opposed to, say, Fury from the Deep, which has a more comic look to it. Or you look at just from what I've seen of the new Web of Fear one, because as I record this, I'm still waiting on my Web of Fear steelbook, where the faces look kind of bland in just the snippets I've seen from it. In the Moonbase animation, the faces are very detailed, very well done. You always know which character you're looking at, for sure. And then the live action episodes are phenomenal. I just love Troughton in this story. He's so good. Troughton got his groove going pretty quick as the Doctor. He snapped into it pretty quick, much like Tom Baker. But he's on fire in this one. I love his speech about some corners of the universe that have that speech about that. There are some corners of the universe which have bred terrible things, or something like that. Read the most terrible things. I can't believe I'm slipping on that today. It's that kind of day. There are some corners of the universe which have bred the most terrible things. I love that speech. And just the way he says it. So I really like the Moonbase. About my only issue with it is that I don't really care for the Cybermen design in it. I don't really like the design of the Cybermen. But other than that, I think the story is fantastic. Number 2 on my list is Power of the Daleks. I love Power of the Daleks. And it's very telling that I can love Power of the Daleks as much as I do with it being completely animated, especially the special edition. I like the 2016 version, but the special edition really drives the point home at how good this is, especially when you consider, I've talked before about how it's such a tragedy that so much of Troughton's era is missing because so much of his performance is down to his physical acting, the way his body language works as the Doctor, the way he does his facial expressions. Yeah, I hate that we lose so much of that. Not having the live action episodes. It's a testament to just how good Power of the Daleks is that it still works so well. The animation is so well done on it, and the story is so strong to begin with, and all of the actors, you can tell from the audio, do a good job with their parts. It's such a good story. It's one of my favorite Dalek stories. It's always either 2 or 3 on my Dalek stories list. Ed and Genesis are always battling for the number 2 spot. They're pretty much a tie. So I just love Power of the Daleks. It's 6 parts and it never drags to me. It always feels that 6 parts out well. And then number 3 on my list is Macroterra. And I love Macroterra's animation. I think if Macroterra had survived and we still had the original episodes, I don't think I'd love it as much as I do. It's the only story I can think of where I actually think I prefer the animation to the surviving episodes. I'd love for it to be found. I'd watch it, of course. But just seeing the snapshots from the episode, seeing the surviving clips, I just don't think I would like it as much as I do the animation. I love the animation. I love how fluid everybody moves and how when they turn and look, they don't look like cardboard cutouts like a lot of the other ones do, like Fury from the Deep, and even faceless ones in parts. I don't feel like I'm watching a 2D animation with Macroterra. I feel like I'm watching a really well realized animation. I don't think it's lifelike, of course, but I forget it's a 2D animation when I'm watching Macroterra. Everything looks so fluid. Everything looks like it has depth to it. Like, I love the end of episode 1 when they just see the Macra coming out of the shadows and rising up at them. Such a well done shot. Also, the end of, I think it's episode 3, when they're coming down on Jamie when he's in the cave. It's so well done. They really went the extra mile with Macroterra, and it shows. And it just goes to show, when you spend the money on these animations, what you can do. That budget makes a huge difference. As I've said a million times, they need to get Sun and Moon Studios back. They need to hire them again, the people who did a lot of work for Macroterra, because they are phenomenal. And that extra effort that went into Macroterra really shows. It really, I think, makes me appreciate the story more than I would have if I had just seen the original story. I think it would have just been kind of that was a neat thing. As it is, I love going back and watching Macroterra, especially since as I mentioned before, the color version and the black and white version I think are equally good, but they're different viewing experiences. Sometimes I'm in the mood to watch it in color, sometimes I'm in the mood to watch it in black and white. So it's like I'm getting 2 stories for the price of 1, really, and I absolutely adore that. And those are my top 3. I know some people might be like, what about 10th Planet? I like 10th Planet, but it's really just the first 2 episodes of 10th Planet. I love episodes 1 and 2. Episodes 3, to me, it's so painfully obvious that Hartnell is not there because of health reasons that I can't get around that. It's blatantly obvious that they're having to work around him not being there, and that kind of bothers me. And then episode 4, while I like the animation of itself, I don't like the way the camera angles are done on the animation. They don't feel right to the rest of the story, and I find it very jarring cutting to the animation at the end. The actual animation itself is fine, the way they do the animation style, similar to how the Moonbase is, which I like, but just seeing like the close-ups of the Cybermen and stuff, the way the camera angles work, I just remember the last time I watched it, it felt very jarring going to it, whereas the Moonbase, it doesn't. I can go from animated to live action to animated to live action in Moonbase, and I'm fine. I adjust to it very quickly, whereas in 10th Planet, I go from live action, animation, and it just feels really wonky and off right at the end. So that is why 10th Planet doesn't quite make my list. Maybe if we ever get episode 4 back, I'll change my mind on that. So that's my top 3 for season 4. I would like to know what you think of my choices and what you think of those particular 3 stories that I mentioned. And then I would like to know what your top 3 are as well for season 4. So comment down below and let me know. I always enjoy interacting with you guys. I also have a Patreon. If you want to support what I do, there is a link to my Patreon down in the description below. If you like my videos and just want to help out, contribute a little bit, my entry-level tier is only $2 a month. That gets you in the door. If not, that's fine too. Other things you can do is click the like button, click the subscribe button, click the bell for notifications. I'm always doing new videos, trying to get the channel up to 1,000 subscribers, because that just unlocks so much more I can do with the channel. Community posts, polls, things like that. So I'm trying to get there as quick as I can. We're slowly getting there. Most importantly, though, thank you for watching.